Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I thought we'd do another Dragon Ball kind of collection video, and today we're taking a look at my Dragon Ball Z magazine collection. In the early 2000s, a magazine called Beckett Collector, they did their own Dragon Ball Z magazine. If anyone's familiar with it, here's what one of the magazines looked like, and they've done a lot of magazines, and how I got introduced to them was they did Pokemon magazines, which I collected at the time. Inside them they had a little section in the back that had some Dragon Ball info and stuff, so that was pretty cool. And then eventually I started collecting these, and that's how that collection began. I'm here to show you because back in the day I didn't have internet. I didn't have internet till late 2006, 2007. So magazines were the only way I could educate myself into knowing anything about Dragon Ball, get a little ahead, and know the universe pretty well. So this was the first one I got, and this came out in July 2002. I think the Dragon Ball magazines came out from 2000 or around that year. This one has there's an artist called Jeff Amano, and he did all the covers. He does some of the inside work, and as you can see, this one's a little torn up. For some odd reason, when I was a kid, I liked cutting magazines and stuff. But as you can see, it has some trivia things, and it has summaries of certain episodes and stuff that I had never seen before. It had little character bios. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. In the back, it had like a little store where you could like order things and stuff. And then it had cards and toy prices, all that jazz. And inside here they had toy reviews, they had video game reviews, they had tips on how to play the card games, what volumes were coming out in the US at the time. And as you can see, these were the Majin Buu videotapes. Then they had a contest every once in a while. And here are some of the past issues. And then they have like a top toy list. I mean, this was a cool magazine. What really sold the magazine for me, this is pretty cool. They always had like fan art and stuff. That was pretty cool. These magazines were a big part of my childhood. I collected most of these from Sam Goody, Suncoast, Extreme Toys in the mall. I mean, this magazine, I started collecting this magazine when Dragon Ball Z just came out. Well, not just came out, but when I was following the Buu saga and everything, and this is how I got introduced to a lot of things. Like I said, I didn't have internet or anything, but I love these magazines. I go through them every once in a while. They have great featurettes, interviews with a lot of interesting people. Here's Gotenks. I mean, these were pretty cool magazines. Eventually they stopped doing Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, and they just combined them all into one anime source magazine, which is pretty cool. I remember I got this when I bought the final VHS tape for Dragon Ball Z. That was in April, I think. It's pretty cool. I would show you everything in here, but it's more or less everything I just said. Here's Trunks, and it kind of does like this lineup thing. And then they had these collector editions, which sort of combined a few of those magazines, and they combined them into here. Sometimes this magazine would have more info, more pages, more exclusives to the collector's edition. But these were pretty cool because the covers were all shiny. And look, Majin Goku, that's pretty cool. Here's another one, has Super Saiyan 4 Goku on it with the Ozaru Grade 8 transformation in the back. And it had GT reviews. It showed me a world beyond Dragon Ball Z and stuff. So, but before this, I never even saw what GT looked like, or the characters, or any of that stuff. So, these magazines were really, they came in handy. Here's Super Buu. These are pretty cool. They're better quality than those, just the regular flimsy magazines. Here's how to draw stuff. Fan art was always cool. I'm like, here's an old Dragon Ball Z drawing I did. It sucks. And here's this one. This one was probably the last one I bought, and it's all black and it's matted, and Vegeta's glossy, Super Saiyan 4. Then here is the holy grail of Dragon Ball Z, the ultimate magazines, I would say. These are the Pojo's Unofficial Total Dragon Ball Z magazines. These magazines are incredible. I got both of these at a Target. I want to say this one was from Target. This one might have been from a old Borders store, but these were fan guides. Now they're called Unofficial because I feel like they're made for fans by fans, and it's not put out by mainstream stuff, but inside it had a lot more detail and a lot more information of Dragon Ball Z. Now at this point I'd probably seen whatever was on Toonami, probably the Majin Buu stuff, but in here it had the page just fell out. It had summaries of what's to come. It had who would play who in like a real live action movie. It had how the Dragon Balls work. I mean, in the back it had a total character biographies on every character, even little insignificant characters like the Blind Boy in the Buu Saga, or characters that die at the hands of, if they were in the Red Ribbon Army and stuff. As you can see, it has a lot of pictures. The pictures aren't the best quality. These kind of look like old internet JPEG photos, but they're cool. And you have 3D images you could see. It actually came with some glasses. It had the Super Saiyan evolution, and then it had a whole summary of Dragon Ball GT. Now these are the only images I've ever seen. I've probably seen what Goku, Pan, and Trunks had looked like. I never seen any of the villains. I never seen anything else or any of the other characters. I knew what Super Saiyan 4 looked like because it was right here. But Baby, Super 17, and the Shadow Dragons, I had to imagine that. And then I got to read the whole summary of GT, which pumped me up for whenever it came out in the US. That was awesome. And it had the first Dragon Ball Z bilingual DVDs, reviews, and then they had a little episode guide, for episodes that came out during the time. Here's the other one. This one was even more jam-packed with a lot of stuff. In the back it tells you all the features it has. This has over 500 biographies. As you can see, I'm going through the book kind of fast just so this video isn't too long. But this one even had more insignificant characters, and just like every single, whoever made an appearance in Dragon Ball, they were in here. Like I said, these magazines were a big part of my childhood, and this is how I educated myself into Dragon Ball Z. I probably wouldn't be the fan I am today if it wasn't for this stuff. It had the Japanese episode titles, it had summaries and stuff. It even had edits that, opened my eyes and were like, this isn't just an ordinary cartoon, this is anime, and this is, this is something different, Here's episode guides of Dragon Ball GT, which are much appreciated because now I got to see Super 17. I got to see what Baby looks like. And, although I read these summaries and stuff when I was a kid, I was still excited whenever it came out in the US. And here we have a battle guide. According to this book, there are 187 fights in the whole Dragon Ball Z series. Here we have reviews of and movie guides for the OVAs and movies. And the BoJack Unbound movie was probably my favorite movie. I had never seen it, so this review, I'd always read this over and over again. And these movies weren't even officially licensed in the US yet. Then it had OVAs that I never heard of. And so you can see these are kind of like probably the Japanese titles and stuff. At the time, I think probably movie 6 had just been released, so it only had the official kind of titles for these in here. And I'd always love to read these ones. Here's some of the early Dragon Ball stuff. Then this episode guide picks up from the Cell Saga, and eventually all these episodes had aired. And that was pretty cool. So, yeah, like I said, I think I'm repeating myself, but I love these magazines. They're a big part of my childhood. They're really cool. If you could find copies of them, you could probably find them for fairly cheap. You know, the Pojo guides are really cool. I think they were only 2 of these ones released, but yeah, I love these. I still go through them every once in a while. Of course, so you got Beckett, you got Pojo, and you got these collector editions of the Beckett magazines, the best of Dragon Ball Z. I just love these magazines. If you can ever find them, definitely take a trip. It definitely takes you down a nostalgic trip. You know, it shows you what was popular at the time, what was going on, and this came out in Dragon Ball Z's heyday in the U.S., so, you know, it's pretty cool. I know I kind of ran through some of this stuff pretty fast, but if anyone has questions or would like to go into more depth on one of these magazines, definitely leave a comment. I'll try to accommodate your request. But yeah, that's it, and here's a GT shot. Anyway, that's it, guys. Great memories of these. Love reading them. Got them at the Suncoast and all those old places that don't exist. So they're great mementos. And I guess I'll cut the video here. So until we meet again.